Do you want to make passive income through real estate? Do you want to make money while you sleep? You don't have to do anything and money's just going to come to you every single month? Then real estate investing is not for you. In today's video, we're going to go over my real estate investment that I made 1 year ago. We're going to go through all the numbers, all the mistakes, all the advantages of real estate investing. And at the end of this video, I'll give you guys 5 tips on investing in real estate in 2020. So let's jump right into it. So 1 year ago, May 2019, I posted this picture on my Instagram. And these are the photos of the house that I just bought. This is a duplex that's in my area, and I fixed it up, and I've been renting it out ever since. I actually made a complete playlist of me going through this month through month. It took me about 6 months to rehab the entire project, but it is done and it's been rented out for, since October of 2019. So for the last 8 months, I've been able to collect a rent on it. And I'll go over all the numbers with you, and I'll even show you some before and after so you guys can get the whole picture. All right, so here are some better photos that I took. This is the condition of the house that I bought it at. My purchase price was around $275,000. $275,000 for this property. This is a duplex, and I have to tell you that I bought it and it was a good deal. The duplexes in my area for a completely finished one is roughly around $450,000. So for a house in this condition, I bought this directly from the bank. So the banks usually take a lot longer to close on a property, but still a pretty good experience. And this is what it looked like when I first rented it out in October 2019. And basically it still looks like this, but you know, there's people living in it and there's a bunch of cars in the parking lot. This is a picture of the front of the property. One mistake that I made was that I did not make the tenant take care of the lawn. And so now I'm taking care of the lawn. Basically, I go there once a month to check on the property and mow the lawn, which is a pain. Takes me about 30 minutes or so, but I do get to check up on the property and make sure everything is running smoothly from at least the exterior standpoint. Here is the after photo. You can still see that there's like a permit sign right there in the window to get all the work done. This is another photo of the interior. Some of the graffiti left over by the old owners or the old tenants. And here's the brand new version of it. Hardwood floors, completely refinished. Very light colored wall painting that I chose with a white trim. This is a look at the basement of the property. So this is a large basement. I could have converted the basement into another unit, but I did not want to go through all the permits with the city, all the legal work. So in the end, I decided to rent this out as a duplex, as a 2-unit rental. And this is the new look of the basement. You can see I put in new carpets, and just finished painting the walls. So this is a basement. No one's supposed to live there, even though they possibly could, but no one's supposed to live down there. There's been months and months of neglect before I got this property, and you can see like the mail just kept getting stuffed in there. No one came to pick it up for weeks and weeks. New windows, new thermostat, and some paint, and a lot of sweat equity. And this place is brand new. Kitchen had to be completely redone. This was like a $5,000 job to put new cabinets, no tile work in this kitchen, and new appliances, new sink, new countertops. Bathroom was a complete mess. This looks like a nightmare. Imagine showering in there, in that, like, look at all of that darkness around the sink area. Man, yeah, that was a complete nightmare. And this, compared to that, looks like heaven to me. I would love to shower in this. Here's another look at the living room. I don't even know how people can live like this. Look how dirty the walls are. I was speechless when I saw this, but I do get excited when I see properties like this because I know that I could fix something like this up. Everybody wants to be fancy, you know, everybody wants to pay other people to do the work. But if you are a real hustler, you guys can, you know, do this exactly like the way I did it. I hired a contractor to do a lot of the work, but, you know, I was there side by side with them on a weekly basis to put in the work myself. And this is the kitchen on the smaller unit side. It's basically a mirror image. And here's the master bedroom. You can still see like the floors, the hardwood floors they look pretty good, but if you zoom in, you can see that they're a bit stained. So the hardwood floors have probably another 10 years of life in them before the next go around. And I think in the next go around, I would have to, put some type of hardwood on top of it. But, that's 10 years down the line. This is completely perfect and happy real estate investor for this property. So when it comes to this property, I dubbed it the Wang Gang property number 2. This is the second property that I own. The first property I did before I started the YouTube channel, and that has its own problems, that has its own issues, but basically that one is running smoothly as well, but not as smoothly as this one because this one's a lot newer. All right, so purchase price was $275,000. To my memory, the listing price was around $200,000, so I put an offer $75,000 above the listing. A lot of people might call me crazy for doing that, but if you are an experienced real estate investor and you look at the comparisons for this property with other properties in the area, this is still a good deal. All right. My down payment on this property was $55,000. The renovation cost for this property was in total 6 months of work. This is not including my work, all right? This is not including me going in there every single week, putting in my own time. So I paid contractors around $50,000 to get this place fixed up to what it looks like today. And at first, I estimated this to be around $25,000 to $30,000 reno. And obviously, when it comes to real estate investing, you have to put in like a big buffer. Things are going to take twice as long when it comes to real estate investing, and things are always going to cost twice as much, basically. That's like the general rule amongst real estate investors. So in total, all of my cash in this property is $105,000. That was a big hit on the wallet, guys. Current value of this property, though, is $400,000. That's on the very, very conservative end. And on the higher end is about $450,000 with tenants living in there. So it would be smart for me to, take out that $105,000 equity that I have in there. I could probably just take all of that out if I refinance the property, but I'm not gonna do that. I am trying to live debt-free here. I'm gonna keep this property forever, or unless someone makes me a ridiculous deal like $2-3 million to buy this property, but I'm gonna keep this for as long as I possibly can. There's no point in me selling this property. What I'm trying to do is create a portfolio for my investments where I can live off of that. That's what I'm doing with my stock investments as well. Most of you guys probably know me for most likely dividend investing, but I am a real estate investor as well. This is my bread and butter here. This is where I make most of my money. This is where I take the profits from this and I put it in dividend investing. So when it comes to cash flow, I'm seeing $3,000 a month from rents. This has 2 units. One side is paying $1,600. The smaller side is paying $1,400. And the tenants in there, they're great. I love them. One is a business owner or works for a small business, and the other one, is a pure hustler. He pays me in cash. He pays me in cash on a monthly basis. So I'm not going to ask any questions, but he is a pure hustler. So for anybody that is just beginning their real estate journey and you kind of want to see, how much you're going to have to pay for mortgage, I recommend you guys to go into the link in the description. And this is a amortization schedule calculator. It's very difficult for me to pronounce that word, but let's refresh this for you guys. I got a mortgage and the loan amount was, I think it was $220,000. All right, that's how much I borrowed from the bank, 30 years, and I got roughly around 4% interest rate. You calculate that, I'm paying monthly payments of $1,050. So when you're borrowing money for the bank, you're paying a premium when it comes to that interest, right? But you're gonna need to borrow money from the bank. You need money to make money, as they say. This is a great way to see exactly how much you're paying every single month, how much you're going to be gaining in equity every single month from your payments. In the beginning, most of it is going to go to the interest, and your principal is going to slowly creep up every single month you pay down. A lot of people like to pay down their mortgages early, which is great. I think for me, I'm just going to pay it on time, and I think that's the best that I can do for now. But this is like going into like the geekiness of real estate. Let's try to stay on the surface level so I could help out as many people as possible. All right. So when it comes to the expenses, all right, let's go back to that. Mortgage is $1,050 every single month. Taxes is $400. I pay taxes quarterly, so I added all of those taxes up and divided it by 12 to get $400. Water and sewage is the same thing. I'm paying that quarterly, and roughly I'm paying around $100 for that. Insurance for both units is about $150. Maintenance is roughly $150. Like, there's a bunch of months where I don't go in or do anything, but I do get some phone calls to fix like a leaky faucet, or something is peeling off the walls, or the screen door in the front is like squeaky, and whatever. There's a lot of random things that can happen when it comes to real estate investment, when it comes to owning rental property. So you gotta just have to take it when it comes, all right? And something that I didn't do before, but I've started to incorporate into my expenses is CapEx. Basically, my CapEx expense is about $150 a month, and I'm trying to be really conservative with my numbers, but basically CapEx is something like, it's not something you pay for every single month, but let's say your roof is a great example of a CapEx expense. You're not gonna buy a roof every single year. You're gonna buy it one time, and then slowly over a long period of time, it's gonna get used up, and you're gonna eventually need to replace it. So CapEx is something that it goes into the savings to pay for a roof later down on the road. So when it comes to HOA fees, I'm paying $0. This is just like a standalone duplex where I'm handling almost everything myself. Property management is $0. I'm not gonna pay myself. This is just, an investment from me. So total all that up and you get $2,000. You subtract the cash flow with that, I get a profit about $1,000 every single month from this property. All right, so let's do some quick math here. I'm roughly getting around $12,000 in profits every single year, right? And I'm gonna divide that by the amount of cash that I put in this property myself, which is $105,000. That equals to roughly, I have to multiply this by 100. So my return on this investment is roughly around 11.4%. That is not including all of the other advantages of real estate investing, all right? Getting over 10% return on investment to me is amazing. I can't do that even in the stock market with dividend investing. When it comes to dividend investing, I'm seeing closer to 4% plus when it comes to that. And with the pandemic and the crash and everything, a lot of that is already wiped out. But luckily I'm diversified and I'm invested in real estate as well. So this is not including like all the equity that I'm paying down every single month. I think if you add that and all the other advantages of real estate investing, this return on investment goes up a lot higher. So there are a bunch of advantages of real estate investing. I went through a few of them earlier in the video, but let's jump right into the main reasons why. So the first main reason is going to be steady income. Every single month, your tenants are going to be paying you enough money to pay down the mortgage, and if you're lucky, you'll have profit on the other end of that. So for me, I'm collecting about $1,000 every single month. That I could do almost anything I want with it. I could spend it on a vacation, but typically I use that to reinvest in the stock market or reinvest in more real estate investing. So the second advantage of real estate investing is long-term security. One of the easiest ways to invest is just investing for the long term. If you're gonna do something like day trading, penny stock trading, flipping houses, that is like quick money that is a lot harder to get. In general, the real estate markets tend to go up over time. If you look back 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you can see you could buy a house for like $50,000. Now, in most markets, you're not going to be able to buy a single family house for $50,000, more like $100,000 plus for a single family house, unless you live somewhere in the middle of the country. So the third reason for investing in real estate is going to be tax advantages, tax benefits. I could write off a lot of the depreciation against my profits. I can write off a lot of the interest payments as well against my profits. And in time, that will save me a lot of money when it comes to taxes. All of the expenses that I listed earlier, all of that can be written off when it comes to all the tax benefits. So when you start making a lot of money, you're gonna have to really know all of these tax loopholes and advantages. And a lot of this I learned myself. A lot of it I also got from my accountant. I have a very reliable accountant that helps me do all the paperwork as well. So the fourth advantage of real estate investing is gonna be your mortgage payments are covered, all right? So my tenants are essentially paying down the mortgage for me. I'm doing a lot of work to get the tenants in there, screening them, meeting all the potential tenants and finding the best one, putting them in there and making sure that they're happy and making sure that they do pay the rents. And in general, most people are gonna pay their rents. I think that there are a few bad apples out there that, ruin it for the rest of the landlords out there. But when it comes to my experience, I've gone through maybe 5 or 6 tenants and only had one that gave me trouble. And also, if you watched my video about house hacking, I'll link it here. You can basically live rent free or mortgage free. The tenants are always gonna be paying down the rent as long as you find good tenants. So for the fifth advantage of real estate investing is gonna be you are in control of your investments. You get to make your own decisions. If you own enough properties, for me, it will be around 8 to 10 properties before I could just quit everything and just focus on real estate and I could just retire and just do that. Then I would be financially free. That would be enough. I could live off of, 8 to 10 rentals. If I needed to sell a property, I could sell it. If I need to evict a tenant for, not paying rent, I can do that. I could live in the properties if I wanted to. There's so many things that you can do when you are a real estate investor. And, I listed a lot of them. Maybe I converted you and make you want to start real estate investing. But, if a person like me can do it, I'm not a professional at doing this, but I do have a lot of experience doing this now. It's been a few years now. So I do have a lot more experience than most people. So, take it from me with a grain of salt, obviously. If I can do this, obviously you guys can do this as well. That's why I started this whole channel, just to show you guys, all the steps needed to be done to get to the end result. The hardest part is gonna be saving for that down payment. To save $50,000, it took me almost 2 years to even get to $50,000 in my stock market investment. Even in my portfolio right now, it's only under $50,000, but basically it's pretty much $50,000. So if I wanted to, I could sell my dividend investing portfolio, put that on another down payment on another house, and just redo all this all over again. That's just an example of how hard it is to save up for the down payment. Everything will come to you if you focus on it and put in some hard work. If you guys want to watch more videos from me, go check out these videos here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification, follow me on Instagram, follow me on my second channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.